Hello, and welcome to today's LLL Esports Round Up, where we're going to cover the games from this morning in the World's Qualifying Series and then preview tomorrow's World's 2023 Play-Ins Day 1 schedule. Predictions, I'm 0-1. I thought Golden Guardians would win 3-1, and they simply did not show up today as BDS beat them 3-0. Sheo was my MVP. Nuke went 11-1, 18, 32% of damage, leading BDS. Labrav 1-1-24, had the best KDA. Gory 2-10-2, 31% of damage in the loss. So, Gory and River did not show up today. Licorice did not really show up today. Stixay was non-existent, and Huhi. Honestly, so yesterday, towards the end of the video, when I went over this series, Golden Guardians win cons, River Gory, BDS crowning. Golden Guardians have had nearly a month to prepare for Adam's picks. Darius Olaf, I did not say the Garen, which is important to mention here because they also forgot about the Garen, just making sure I'm still recording him. They also, completely forgot about the Garen. Difference being they get paid to focus on BDS for 28 days, and I was focusing on all 23 teams at once. Regardless, Game 1, so Golden Guardians comes into this with some interesting adaptations. They brought out a Nico support. They played a Mumu support, which, was a fringe pick, and Nico obviously very out of the box. And the Nico sucked. So they invested time in trying to find some bot lane options. They also flexed the Talia from mid to jungle, which I'm okay with theoretically, because River, I do believe, is better than Sheo. That is without a doubt. I think that River is the best player out of the 10 players in this game, in this series. Now, in Game 1, you have a matchup where Sheo goes facilitator with Maokai, and River is playing Talia. So we have a carry-oriented pick with some facilitator, obviously, with the wall and shit out of River. But Sheo makes things happen on the Maokai, goes mid lane for Nuke, gets Nuke ahead. Nuke then carries the lane. One leads into the other. Now, River's job at that point, in my opinion, is to get ahead, because now you're not offsetting things. If you can't offset the gank, you can't offset the objectives, you need to carry in the mid to late game. You need to have enough gold to have an item advantage, to do something with your lead if you're going to be a carry oriented jungler, and that just did not happen. And they just completely got smoked in Game 1. Game 2, Golden Guardians threw, which is why I'm not calling this a stomp. I'm not calling it a clap. I'm not calling it any of that. BDS won all 3 games, but Game 2, in my opinion, Golden Guardians threw. They had a massive lead in top lane. They went top lane, got Licorice ahead. Kesante was ahead of Garen. Licorice dives Adam, allows Adam back into the game. Big team fight around Baron, where Golden Guardians misplays it. BDS wins that fight. Nuke carries that fight on Azir. A lot of zoning, obviously, playing a role in that. I will say I hated the UI in this series. I really wish they had the European UI, where the gold diffies were in the scoreboard, and then we also would have had a better damage output graphic for when team fights were occurring. Like that Baron fight was massive in my opinion, and yet you could barely read the damage output. It was like, 5.2 or something for Nuke, I think. But you could barely read it, and at that point, just get it off the fucking screen. I don't want to see... I don't even want to see the mess that's there. But, so... BDS win that team fight, then they go and win the game. Crowny plays well in the team fights. In Game 3, I thought that BDS just simply played better. Once again, Licorice, no answer for the Garen. He's playing Jax and is on Struggle Street. And Adam dominates that game. That's pretty much it. River needed to do more in Game 1. Game 2, if Golden Guardians don't throw, it's 1-1, best out of 5. Who knows what happens. They pick red side in Game 3. That was a bit int. Draft sucked. like I said, so Golden Guardians comes into this, like off the rip, Golden Guardians comes into this with some interesting ideas. I'm not going to fault them for the Nico. I'm not going to fault them for the Talia. The Nico looked terrible, but at least they came in there with something unexpected. And like I've said, and I keep saying, teams from the West need to come into games with things that are unexpected if they want to beat Eastern teams. Obviously, this is West versus West, but why not do it here as well? It makes you wonder who they were scrimming against that gave them the Nico vibe, because it wasn't great. Even Callista, for that matter, not a very strong pick, towards the end of the season. Obviously, we've had a couple patches, but, you got Callista, Nico. I think that was, they're focusing too much on that and not focusing on what they needed to do with Adam, because Adam doesn't have like a champion ocean. He just has weird picks. And you need to adapt and know and have answers for it. Like, and in game 2, clearly they did, but just game 3, it was like, okay, well, we're screwed now. So, BDS win 3-0. I think Shea was massive, getting ahead of River in game 1. I think, he played well in games 2 and 3, cheesed a bit as well. And, did his thing, because River was the one for Golden Guardians that needed to get shit done, and it didn't happen. Still, I do think BDS is not out of the woods. I think CFO and GAM are very competitive. And BDS is the 4th seed from Europe. So who knows what will happen when they have to play the 1st seed of the VCS or the 2nd seed of the PCS. Now, speaking of those teams, or at least one of them, we have the sneak peek for tomorrow. So PSG Rainbow 7 start us off. These two have played against each other before in 2020 at Worlds. PSG would win that. They were in the same group. Actually, that group was with LGD Gaming, and LGD actually lost to Rainbow 7 and maybe Ocean. Like, they went 1-3 in that group stage as a major region team, which is kind of crazy. Like, the notion that major region teams don't lose to minor region teams, like an LPL team was losing to minor region teams. So at Worlds 2020, PSG would win that game. Kongyu on an Echo went 13-1-8. Jose Diota 3-5-2 on a Hecarim. If you know about LLL Esports, you know who these two players are. If you're new, you probably haven't seen Kongyu play, but Jose Diota, you haven't seen Jose Diota probably play either unless you're an LCS fan. So, obviously two very carry-oriented junglers in their prime. Kongyu actually just got, I think, released by Beyond Gaming or J-Team, one of the two, this past week. But, so that's it. Like, none of the players from those two teams are playing tomorrow. They all have completely different rosters. So, we'll see how that one goes. GAM and Loud never have played in a competitive setting. From what I understand, Loud did beat GAM in scrims last MSI. But, I don't put much stock into that personally. Hearing scrims from the winning side is always cute. Given the way that Vietnam plays and the crazy picks they play, I imagine scrims are a fiesta for them, because you look at their picks in the regular season, you can only imagine what they pick when the games don't actually matter. GAM have a completely different bot lane than them. They have Slater and Pallet instead of Style and Zen. And honestly, Style looked like the worst AD carry at Worlds and looked like the worst AD carry at MSI. So I do believe Slater is automatically just going to be better by not being the absolute worst AD carry here. So, I mean, that'll be an interesting one. I think the topside matchup will be fun. Tinones and Katie both are kind of meh. So seeing them go against each other, that's a thing. Yeah, and obviously Levi. Levi's cracked. Like, we got a couple really good junglers in Junjia and Levi tomorrow morning. So that's it. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And hope to see you again tomorrow.